With Modern Warfare Season 5 coming to a close and with Season 6 just over the horizon, that means we'll have a whole host of new content to play around with. And while that means a new battle pass, new maps, new operators, and even what was recently discussed with the new Warzone subway and metro system, that also means everyone's new favorites. New weaponry. Up on deck with Season 6, we know of at least 3 weapons with the possibility of a 4th being out there as well. So today, I want to let you know everything that you should be expecting, what you should get ready to use, and what's upcoming for Season 6. As we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Are you looking forward to Season 6 in Modern Warfare and Warzone? And even if it may not be included with it, what weapon, if you could choose one in all of COD history, or maybe something new, what would you add into the game? As well, if you are new to the channel, perhaps a part of that 62% of viewers not subscribed, do be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare, Warzone, and of course, Black Ops Cold War as we draw closer to the beta. But anyways, let's jump into the discussion on Season 6. Firstly, right out of the gate, what are the 3 weapons that we know about? Well, we know of the ASVAL, the R700, and the AA-12, with perhaps a new melee weapon coming if it follows the trends of recent seasons, but we'll talk about that more in just a second. But we've actually already seen all 3 of these ones that we know of for sure, both in data mined game files, but also in some of the official marketing material for Call of Duty Season 6. While there hasn't been a whole ton of that out there just yet, some of that actually does include teasers as to some of the new weapons here with this. While a lot of the trailers showcase the sneak attacks of Farah and also then Nikolai getting the Metro online, at the very tail end of that trailer, we see Farah throw Nikolai a weapon. That's actually the ASVAL here, the first introduction that we saw for it. What she's holding looks to be an AK-47, so nothing really out of the ordinary there, but our next introduction officially also came from some of the promotional images that came along with the blog post talking about Season 6 a little bit. Talking a little bit about both the operators coming and the backstory here leading up into Season 6 of Modern Warfare, the cover image for the one blog post over on Activision's website ends up featuring both Nikolai and Farah running through the ravine of the Frozen River out just above the airfield at airport and the town across the river. Now, in this image, you can end up seeing both our new weapons that we know of right out of the gate and will presumably be our battle pass weapons here with this, that being the ASVAL and also the R700. Now, talking about each of these weapons individually, the ASVAL, interestingly, was actually the latest introduction of the weapons that we saw in the game files. Data miner BK Tour publicized its existence after that of the R700 and the AA-12, and in fact, we thought the R700 would actually be in the last season, or I guess rather this season of Modern Warfare, because we knew of its existence for so long and it was in a finished state before the launch of Season 5. But the ASVAL is a Soviet rifle with an integrated suppressor utilizing 9x39mm subsonic rounds with a rather high rate of fire of around 900 RPM with its real-world counterpart. Now, forgive my firearm ignorance perhaps here, I'm certainly no expert, but having done some digging on the 9x39mm rounds of the real-world counterpart, it's a modified design of the 7.62x39mm rounds, making it a modified version of ammunition used in weapons like the CR-56 AMAX, the AK-47, the SCAR, and the FAL. Now, of course, we have 9mm modifications for the M4, but whether or not they make it the default, we'll have to see. The whole design purpose of the ASVAL is to be stealthy, hence the subsonic rounds, but how much Call of Duty will deviate from that path is yet to be known. If they'll just kind of conform it to be a traditional rifle like we've seen in Modern Warfare, or if they do take that design element that does kind of deviate from the standard rifle, we'll have to wait and see. The difference, whether or not it's too drastic or not, we'll see in time how much of a fundamental shift it is in the gunsmith, but that's something up on deck. The R700 is likely going to be placed in the marksman rifle category if I were to guess, especially given the iron sight design showcased in the promotional material. The other snipers that we've seen right now in Modern Warfare don't have that option for an iron sight, but the R700, if you're looking for something by comparison, I would imagine it's somewhat at its base similar to the other Modern Warfare games that we've seen this in, but also the Remington in Black Ops Cold War's Alpha was modeled after the real-life counterpart of the Remington 700 as well, so that's something that maybe if you played that, you might have a regular feel of how this will be jumping into the game as of next week and Season 6. But again, as with the ASVAL, we don't know entirely. Now, I'm imagining this one playing out a little bit more so like the Kar98K, where of course snipers will have higher DPS and be definitely more viable for body shots, but if you're going for something that's a little bit quicker of an ADS and you can hit those headshots, that's where you're probably going to thrive with this, if it is falling into the marksman category. Very well could be something that also goes over into the snipers, since we only have 4 snipers versus 5 marksman rifles already. But anyways, that'll be added in also. Now, these are both going to be the Battle Pass weapons. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure which one would be coming first in the order of succession here. We usually see the rifles coming a little bit later on, but maybe a new marksman rifle or a new sniper does make its way over that way also. So we'll have to wait and see, but 15 and tier 31 are those two target locations in the Battle Pass for Season 6. And of course, all you need to do is play through a little bit of the game to get those weapons. Unlike the rest of the items in the sort of premium Battle Pass, both weapons are available for free, so you don't have to put anything into the Battle Pass if you don't want to. As for the AA-12, this is where we now start to get a little bit further down the line, and what is likely to be something that comes maybe closer towards the end of October, early November, whenever that mid-season update happens for Season 6. Assuming the season is not condensed to meet up with then what is the launch of Black Ops Cold War on November 13th, that would be something that a new update goes live for that mid-season update, introducing this around the end of October. If they condense the season into being a little shorter, maybe it's a couple of weeks after launch, maybe by 3 weeks or so rather than 4 or 5, but the AA-12 is that shotgun from the past, a blast from the past, and having seen a little bit of how it plays around in data mined forced assets into the game, this thing looks to have a lot of kick. The footage BK Tor provided whenever he first initially data mined this did not have bots or anything to showcase how quickly it would drop an enemy, but whenever you held down the trigger or spammed it, it would shoot your aim entirely skyward. So definitely something you're going to need to play around with, but rounds out our weapons that we know of currently. So that's 3 weapons we have within Season 6, but as we mentioned, there may be a melee weapon that does drop at some point, presumably what could be the launch of Season 6. Now, this is where things get interesting because, again, it's not confirmed, and we genuinely don't know this time around, but the last couple of seasons, we've had melee weapon introductions. So if we're continuing that pattern, we should see a melee weapon introduced here around launch for Season 6. Last season, or rather this season still, we had the Kodachis introduced. Season 4, we had the Kali sticks introduced. But again, where it becomes interesting is that we haven't heard anything about this. We don't have any bundle that is currently known about in the database on COD Tracker that hasn't been released just yet that has a melee weapon included with it. And also right now, I don't even know if there's any indication of a new melee weapon being in the game files data mined for the first time. So it's definitely something that introduces a question mark here, if anything else, but could be something that we now see 4 weapons continue on within Season 6. 3 up front, potentially with that 1 melee weapon, and then 1 later on down the line in the mid-season update. That's the weapons that we know of right now and what looks to be coming with Season 6 in just a few short days. Honestly, I'm incredibly excited to get my hands on some new weaponry here, play around with something different, and maybe it shakes up the meta a little bit from, of course, what is going on right now in Warzone, of the Origin meta, of other weapons being used continually, but I'm interested to see how things shake up here with all of this. So that said, that's where we're going to wrap it up. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down in the comment section down below. What weapon are you looking forward to out of this? And of course, again, if you could add any weapon in, what would you put into the game and why? Feel free to let me know down in the comments down below, but hopefully enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, Warzone, and of course, Black Ops Cold War. With Season 6 happening as of the next couple of days, we'll keep you up to date with everything you need to know there. And of course, then next week, the beta begins for Black Ops Cold War. So we got a lot up on deck, so stick it here on the channel. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. I live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. But that said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.